Let's see.
We live.
Hello, August 3rd, everybody. Fantasy Football 7s podcast. Happy to be with you. Guess what? We got football tomorrow. We got NFL football tomorrow. Joining me today for the first guest. Very glad to have my man, Fantasy Good Sports. TD, how you doing over there on the East Coast, man?
I'm doing good, bro. I'm excited. It's football time. It's time to get this money.
Yeah, bro. You know what it is. That's what I said on all the posts for all the Fantasy Football 7s people. It was glory, glory, hallelujah. And I had the money coming down. That was my side way of saying, hey, it's time for us to make some money too. All right, it's fun. It's fantasy season. This show's about fantasy. If you want to hit up some about betting, if you want to know about some more fantasy knowledge, where can they find you, TD? First off.
At Fantasy Good Sports, you just type that in on any social media platform, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. That's Fantasy Good Sports. So you can find me, no spaces. And also, guys, I have an OnlyFans. And no, it's nothing weird going on with my OnlyFans. I just want to be different. Everybody had Patreon, so I did OnlyFans. Come over there, and the personableness is crazy. I can talk to you any time of the day, help you out with anything that you need. So make sure you sign up for OnlyFans, only $10 a month, and your grandfather clause if you do it before the first week of this year.
All right, yeah, you hear that, man? I want to make sure everybody, there's an E on the end of that good too. Okay,
Yes.
So if you're listening, just so you know that all right, it is all one word. Glad to do that. I'm on Patreon. You know, if you're lost listening to this, for right now, we're live on Facebook, we're live on YouTube, we're live on Twitter. So if you see either one of us on there, you're not following us, go follow both of us, man. Great advice. I've been messing with TD for over a year now. We've been taking together on some takes. We had some, for example, Gainwell. I didn't hear anybody banging the drum last year louder than us on Gainwell. 7 touchdowns, you got him as your RB, 5 or 6, probably if you take like standard, if you didn't do like a hero or zero per se, and you could rock with him. And if you did take him as your RB2, he was serviceable. So just listen to the takes, man. We get loud on some takes, but we back it, we own it, and it's fun to be a part of that. All right, man. All right, today's Fantasy Football 7s episode is all about the schedule and TD's lineup, man. So everybody that's finished, if you're finished with your lineup in the Fantasy Football 7s, I need you to go check right now. The beautiful thing about this league, besides the points and the people, is the schedule, man. And I formulated the schedule over a decade ago. And what happens is you start with 16 teams. It gives you so much kind of room to work with as a commissioner. It's basically a mini NFL. I got half the teams of the NFL. When we did the draft, if everybody did the math, 20 rounds of 16, that's 320. That's the top 10 players theoretically from every team across the league. All right, but when I broke down the schedule, this was something I hammered down about 10 years ago. I treated it like it was a college project. I worked harder on it than I did in college. All right, and I just wanted to bring it up. This is kind of everything we're discussing today, and it's a beautiful burger. That's how I describe the schedule. And I've only got the buns, man. I've toasted up the buns. We're going to keep them in the bread warmer. We're going to sit it till I get to the rest of the schedule after the show. But it should be weeks 1, 2, 3. In weeks 12, 13, 14. So your first 3 and your last 3 are against your division. Just like the NFL, you got 3 opponents. They try to set them early. They try to set them late. Well, I won up the NFL. I made them all 1, 2, 3, and the last 3. So the first team you play is the last team you play. And I guarantee you that they're going to look so different by the time you play them again. But it's going to create a rivalry, all right? I hope that's the plan. You got to run through your division. You got to win your division. 50% of you have a 50% chance of making the playoffs because 2 teams from each division make the playoffs. All right, so that's how it's going to work. So if you get a chance, everybody, right now we've just toasted the bread. I put them on there, a little butter on it. We're going to put it on there. How I like my burger, I'm going to put a little condiments. I'm a mustard guy. You can put whatever you want on it. And then we're going to get to the meat, grade A, Angus, cook it right, let it marinate. I put some Worcester in there. I put some garlic in there. Got that going. And then I'm going to put, I'm a grilled onions, grilled jalapenos person. I don't really need a lot else. I love lettuce, tomato, and onion. But if I'm making it for me, this is how it's going to be. So you're going to have 4. You got to play the other division in your league, and then you play another division. So you play all but one division in this format. And I'll get to the rest of that later. TD, you're a part of it. We're going to break down your team. Before we get to that, what did you learn in your year 1 experience, for people out there?
Pay attention. The league, it says IDP.
Yeah.
You know your formats. If it's super flex, pay attention. It's super flex. If it's IDP, pay attention. Last year, I was like, okay, I could get late guys, and I knew really good late guys, but they ceiling was too low. So I had a lot of guys that were really good defensive players, but their ceilings were low. So this year I knew coming in, I'm getting the banger defensive players. I'm gonna have the best defense in the whole league.
Yeah, man. Let's take a look at that real quick. I'm gonna run through your draft, and then we can kind of break through your team after that. All right. So TD had the 7th spot in the Winona Rider League. You are in the Kim division, which is that's in Edward Scissorhands for y'all that don't know. So we went right there with it, and it's 7. And there's some good people in here. A lot of new people. Some people that have played in this format a couple times. Like Driscoll 420, Tyboski, Team Hammer. They've all played. This is their 3rd year at least in this, or 2nd year for some of them. But let's take a look. You had the 7th, and people, let me tell you, if you're not used to drafting in a 16-team league, you get so used to these 12s. By the time you get to the 16, it's like, woo, who's there? But hey, man, I gotta applaud you. You stood your ground right here in a super flex league. You took JT in the 1st round, so you got JT, Justin Fields, you got Barkley. Then you hear it with the IDPs coming with Roquan, Devin White, Darius Leonard. Then you snuck in Marcus Mariota, who we'll get to because I think he's very undervalued. I think he's a 17-week starter. Then you came back with another great linebacker, IDP. You got Fred Warner, man. So you got linebacker central happening right there. Then you went and got the double down, what I call a double down. Most people call a stack. You went and got Drake London, should be wide receiver 1 in this for the Atlanta Falcons, who they turned gold. They turned gold out of coal last year. Nobody thought they were going to be that good, and that offense was great, really. Then you went and got the same defense I did. Kudos to that. I think they're going to be the number 1 defense in the NFL.
I didn't want to tell you. Because I wanted to call you along. I said, listen, boy, your team, that defensive team y'all got this year. So I was like, I'm just going to draft and I'm going to see what he's going to say.
They're going to be nasty. We'll definitely spend some time talking about them. Then you went wide receivers, Claypool, Allen Lazard, went back to the well. Bradley Chubb, who can have the dual designation, so important, so important in this format. You only get 5 bench. You only get 5 on your bench. You got to start 15 every week, so you got to get those duels. And you went and got Hines, you got the cuff on JT right there. Then we got Dotson, the rookie for Washington, who I love. Then we got Quay Walker, who's going to be a stud. So you got another double down right there with Walker and Green Bay defense. Young Huku. Then you got Julio Jones. Then you got Sine from the Minnesota, and then you come back with Evans on the running back to close it out at your 20th round, man. Beautiful draft. Why don't we go ahead and break down your team, man? You got a lot of faith right there. Obviously, with Barkley and JT, that could be some of the best running backs that got paired together in this league as well.
Yes. So I know big plays is a part. I looked at the rules, and I know you get bonuses for big plays. I'm usually a wide receiver guy, but it's half-point PPR. So I wanted running backs, it was going to boom. And I also like to zig when people zag, or zag when people zig. Right. So everybody was getting quarterbacks. I knew Trey wasn't going to make it back. I'm a big Trey guy, especially in Superflex. So I was like, I'm going to fade Trey this time because I know he wasn't coming back, and I'm just going to get stud running backs. I just didn't like the stack that I was going to get with Trey. I was going to miss out on a lot of good talent, like especially running backs in a 16 team. So I had to go get Jonathan Taylor right there.
Yeah. I love it, man. JT, I think he's going to be potential. Even if he's not number 1, he's probably going to be top 3. Matt Ryan just helps him out. They got to respect it. And then on the side, looks like Pierce is going off. So if in any way they can keep those safeties out of the box, look out. JT could even have a bigger year, and people weren't talking about that. Real quick, I want to give a shout out. Big Almo, my friend David. He said, nice to see TD involved. His knowledge is real quality. Looking forward to hearing his team. #FantasyFootball7s. So, David, Big Almo, let us know what you think about that. Let's continue with your team, though, man. You went linebacker line. You went what I normally do. Let me tell you, that's kind of one of my secrets. Is you went 1 round earlier than me. In my league, the IDPs were flying off the board. In this league, you were the 3rd overall person to take an IDP. TJ Watt went, then Parsons, and you came back with Roquan, who could probably lead the league in tackles. Then you went with Devin White, who could possibly lead the league with tackles. Then you went with Darius Leonard, who could possibly lead the league with tackles. Let's talk about those 3 studs, man. Those are my guys. I've been a Darius Leonard, banging on his drum. He's from South Carolina. I've been banging on his drum since he was a rookie, and I saw him come out after like week 3. And, of course, nobody grabbed him. Coming from a smaller school, going to the Colts, nobody was talking about him, which I think the Colts could have the best defense this year. Nobody's talking about Gus Bradley and what he's going to do to that defense. You got Kwity Paye, you got Yannick Ngakoue over there. You still got DeForest Buckner. I mean, my Lord, those guys on the defensive line are going to make it so much easier for Darius Leonard. But I'm kind of overtaking the mic on the IDPs. Why don't you talk about your guys, man?
Yeah, man. So real quick about the Colts, man. I love their scheme. they not bringing no safety in the box. They're gonna say beat my front seven, and I'm not gonna give you up. I'm not giving up any big plays, and that's been counteracting the big time offenses. Kansas City, they like to take long shots.
Yep.
A lot of teams like to take long shots, and they're
Not
like, no, you're
power.
not getting that. Yep.
Yep.
So I love this defense. This defense is going to be really good. This whole team reminds me of the Cowboys from the '90s with the great run game, a good veteran quarterback, and a really good defense. No, really, only the star on the defense is Darius Leonard. The rest of them, they just play really good together. But yeah, man, on my linebackers, I took Darius Leonard third because he had a back surgery.
Yep.
So I didn't think he was going to be there. But I was like, if he there, I don't care if he's getting a back surgery. With my third linebacker, I'm gonna get that. So I went Roquan. I wanted Michael Parsons, man, but somebody got him. So it is what it is. But I went Roquan. And then what was my second linebacker that I took?
Right there, you took White, man.
White, yes.
Yeah.
So I was just trying. Listen, when nobody going into defense, I said I'm gonna keep doing it until y'all draft somebody. And they finally drafted somebody that said I had to get off of it and go, fulfill my team. So yeah, I was gonna keep drafting them, bro, until my whole defensive line, my defensive lineup was fulfilled.
No, yeah, and that's one strategy. There's people that like to have two of everything. I do what you do. I line up on linebackers. I like to have them if I can get that dual designation with them. But my IDP flexes predominantly are going to be linebackers because in this format, the tackling is just where it's at. And you mentioned, I meant to come back to it when something you mentioned that I didn't really mention. It is half point PPR. I played all my home league. We never had PPR settings. I kind of caved to the popular crowd and gave people at least a half a point PPR. But that's a very good point you made, though. Mm-hmm. The running backs have more value because of that, Yeah. So I wanted to highlight that before we went forward. I just wanted to say that. You got Fred Warner. Basically, you got captains of the team. I think all three of those guys wear the green dot when they're out there. I think Fred Warner does too. So what that means is 3 down linebackers. Let me tell you what green dot means to people out there. That means they're out there all 3 plays. That don't mean in obvious passing situations they're out of there. JC says, "What's up? I'm on the clock." It's that's what that means, guys, and that's a true advantage. It's a true advantage to people when you got a linebacker out there 3 plays. He gets a pass deflection, can get a sack, can get an INT, can get a fumble recovery, or he can just get an assist tackle or a tackle, which are still 0.75 or 1.5 points, and that's how you build up. You get that 10 tackle bonus. That's a big bonus in our league.
Yes, sir.
You get another 3-4 points out of that. So it just all adds up. Defense is what it takes, man. TD said it right at the beginning, IDP. Yeah, I tried to make it where the linebackers have just as many points as the running backs or the wide receivers or the tight ends, which aren't required, So good focal point, man. I love your team stacking up in the beginning. Let's take a look real quick and talk about something else I really wanted to talk about. Let's talk about your Mariota London stack. I didn't watch a lot of USC football. I don't do as much college scouting as you do. Let's talk about your 2 rookie wide receivers real quick and talk about London and also Dotson. What do you think about those guys?
So I was a little bit uncomfortable. I love top wide receivers. I love that boom. So I had to go into my bank. I'm like, okay, who's the guy I can get since I faded wide receivers early? And I seen Drake London. I was like, this guy, he's a big guy. He reminds me of a young Mike Evans, but a little bit more agility. Big guy. He's going to be the number 1. Even if he's outside the top 12, the way my team is designed, I'll be okay. As long as he's a top 24 guy, which he's the number 1 on the team. And I like Mariota, so I think he will be easily a top 24 guy. I love Atlanta this year. I'm more big on Kyle Pitts, but I wanted Kyle Pitts, but I couldn't get him. But anyway, Drake London is going to be fine. He's going to ball out this year, and he's going to surprise a lot of people, man. So I love that stack. Johan Doxson, man, he's just a player. Yes, Terry McLaurin is the number 1, but they're going to try to take Terry away. They know that to beat them, stop the run game, take Terry away. Johan Dotson is going to have all the opportunities in the world to be a good number 2 rookie wide receiver. And I think, I love his upside.
I've been hearing flashes out of him. I believe in Carson Wentz a little bit more than other people. Also, I read that Curtis Samuel came into camp out of shape, overweight. So it could be pretty easy.
He gave up, man.
Then too, he was injured. I don't want to say he gave up. He could.
Okay.
Who knows? Some people come in. I've seen Luka came in as a Maverick fan. I've seen Luka come in way overweight, play himself into shape, almost get an MVP. Maybe Curtis Samuel's going to do that, but maybe he has. Who knows? Big Amo once again says unbelievable IDP selection. Linebackers with the way they score, it's going to be great selections. Warner pickup, excellent. He's an intelligent player. Warner is an intelligent player.
Yes.
Let's get back to some more of these intelligent picks you got. Let's talk about your 3 Packers real quick, man. We got Lazard, Packers defense, and Quay Walker. I went down. I got Devondre Campbell. I made him my first IDP selection to double down. But I tell people, I didn't get an argument. I guess I'll call it a debate. When somebody says, why are you lower on Devondre Campbell's tackle total? I was like, well, man, he had 120-something plus tackles. And they got Quay Walker to come in and be the thumper. Campbell's another green dot guy. But Walker's going to be there closing the run. They say he's covering sideline to sideline. I mean, you got to think about all those guys he's got in front of him, man. A great defensive line over there in Green Bay. That's going to make it so much easier for Walker just to run and do his thing naturally. So I think it's going to be – he could be a high – like for a rookie, he could come in and get 90-plus combined tackles, which is pretty amazing for your linebacker 5. And then Alan Lazard, you've been high on Watson. Obviously, before he was even drafted, you were really high on Watson.
Yeah.
I still didn't know – I know I have all the faith in Aaron Rodgers to make the wide receivers work. But now that Lazard has shown up as a true wide receiver 1, and you got a wide receiver 1 with your 3rd pick, and with the way Green Bay plays defense, they could jump out early. Lazard could have a couple big plays. They could be run. Watch out, play action. Here's that Jordy Nelson deep post to Lazard on that ball, man.
Yes.
So let's talk about your Packers all together and what made you convincingly go with Green Bay as which is very important in this league. We haven't talked about it. Streaming defense is an option, but if you get a defense that's a top 5 and gets you those points, I mean, it's a game changer.
Well, first of all, you have a great veteran quarterback that knows how to piggyback off everybody.
Yeah.
For him, so this is why I took Green Bay. So I'm looking at all the defenses. I know that this team had young talent. Rashad Gary, I ain't talked to you about him because I know I didn't want you to snipe me. I didn't want you to get the same players. I know you love Rashad Gary too. But Rashad Gary is going to be boom. I seen what Quay Walker was. So Aaron Rodgers, I think for him to take his game to the next level and get a lot of negative stuff that people say about him is to play with his team. Like, I'm not going to try to do the discount double check every time. I'm going to play to my team. We got a great defense. We got great running backs, and I got a couple of good wide receivers that I can get the ball to. So I don't believe Aaron Rodgers is going to throw it for 50 tugs. I think he's going to play probably the most efficient season that he's ever had in his career, which I think he can win MVP. Does that translate over to fantasy? I don't know, but that's another video of another day. But as far as this defense, he's going to play to this defense. These guys are young. And then I seen Quay Walker. So Michael Parsons, I talked about hybrids on offense. On defense, hybrids are coming. And no longer are Troy Polamalu's and Sean Taylor's playing safety. They playing middle linebacker. They covering these running backs. So Quay Walker and Michael Parsons are the same type. They're going to be blitzing Quay Walker. He's going to be rushing the passer. He's going to be playing the run. He could have 80, 90 tackles and also have 8, 9 sacks. That's the new type linebacker that people are looking for. And I got to give kudos to my Dallas Cowboys. They played Michael perfect. I love the way they played him. They could have rushed him a little bit more. But, yeah, man, Green Bay is going to be really good, man. Jari Alexander, you still got King out there, right? On the other side corner, right?
No, it's going to be Douglas, Rashawn Douglas.
Okay.
Smash Amos, Savage.
Yes. Savage and Amos, yes. And great secondary, man. So, this defense, I just think it's going to be a lot of low-scoring game. I just wanted to get anybody off this defense that I can. I wanted Gary, but somebody sniped me for him. So I love the Green Bay, man. Yeah,
I got sniped on Gary, too. What people don't realize is they lost that game to Washington or to the 49ers in the playoffs, and the defense didn't give up a single point. A single point. That's how great it's a shame because it's probably the greatest defensive effort I've ever seen in a playoff game. Except for maybe some like late 90s Steelers or mid 90s Steelers. But like they shut out the 49ers offense and they lost the game. It's going to go unmentioned. So that's why I'm on them as well. There's no weaknesses. They got studs across the board. They got all pros at all 3 levels. It's going to be difficult to stop them. And Quay Walker is going to benefit from coming in and playing with all these all pros around him right away. So, and then Lazard, man, I think he could be 11 touchdown, 12 touchdown kind of guy. We're going to have to see how it unfolds. But let's go ahead and look at the rest of your team, man. We got Chubb, like handcuff. It's really smart to hand a handcuff, especially if you got 2 great running backs. We talked about Dotson. Let's get, you got a steal of the draft, really, because I don't think he was signed yet. I just now noticed it. It's Julio Jones, man, with the 18th overall pick. I don't know how I didn't really catch that in the when I went over your team, but he was unsigned, wasn't he? He was unsigned at that moment.
No. What happened is people have been drafting all these receivers, and then when he finally had signed Didn't nobody need no receivers. They know they had to get that IDP. And
Oh,
so I
okay.
was like, so man, so you got him. You was like, man, you lost Rondell. I chose Julio, man, because I got Rondell and Valus in all like every draft. So
Yeah.
I'm good. If they hit in another league, that's fine. So I was like, let me take a shot on Julio. So I took Julio and I lost those guys, but it's okay, man. So yeah, I got Julio because I zigged and zagged. That's what happens when you zig and zag.
Yeah, man. No, I love it. Actually, it's looking beautiful. That's. I mean, you got him as your what? Wide receiver 5.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, come on. And then Evans backing it up, trying to scoop what's there. Once you get, like I said, around pick 310, 311, can get pretty slim from a fantasy football perspective. You do got Bradley Chubb, playing in there as well. And then Chase Claypool. Let's wrap up your team talking about those guys. I believe in Chase Claypool. I've been on the Mitchell Trubisky chain for quite a while now. I know you may be more Kenny Pickett. I don't know. But from what I hear, he's been taking all the 1 reps. They say Kenny Pickett's looking a little sloppy. So I knew they were going to give Mitchell Trubisky the starter's honor anyway from the veterans perspective. But I think it's an upgrade from Big Ben. And, some people don't see it that way. Trubisky gets a lot of hate. But I was like, man, he's going to be zinging that ball harder. They had to get the ball out of Big Ben's hands, not because their line was as bad as people are saying, but because Big Ben no longer had that. He didn't have any ump. He was going to have to rainbow it to get it 30, 40 yards downfield. That's not the case with Mitchell Trubisky. He's a big guy. People forget how big he is and how well he runs. But I think Claypool is going to benefit. Obviously, Johnson's going to require a lot of attention. Wherever he's manned up, they're going to keep an eye on him. But Claypool has, he's got the drops thing, so people like to hate on him for that. But that's just T.O. did the same thing, and T.O.'s a top 5 wide receiver for me. And Claypool's so young. People want to, people, not to get off subject, people hate on us for loving Carter so much. And I was like, God, he's in his 2nd year. I mean, he's just now started his 2nd year. Please don't let Mason Rudolph start, JC said. But, just to get back to Claypool, I believe in him. I think his catch total can go up. I think his touchdown total can go up. So real quick, what are your thoughts on Bradley Chubb, Denver Bronco? I love him. I think he's going to have a stud year. I think the defense is going to be good from their previous head coach, Vic Fangio. They only allowed like 14 or something, 0.7 points per game last year. It was really low. It's like the 2nd or 3rd. I think Bradley Chubb's going to step it back up. But what do you think of those 2 guys, man?
So first of all, with Bradley Chubb, he was a 2nd overall pick, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah. Yes,
he hasn't had his really breakout. I think he had as a rookie, 8 sacks?
I think a little more, 9, I think.
Okay. So it's like, man, it's like the stocks. I mean, sports are very like the stocks, man. I feel like with his type of carte blanche of what he did, the type of pedigree he is, he's got to go up this year. He's healthy this year. So I'm just taking his shot on him. And I know the guy draft capital was high. I know he's a good player. So I was like, why not? He's got the dual positions, D-line, linebacker. So I took a shot on him. Now, going to Claypool. Claypool, listen, I admit this right now. I said he was better than Jamar, and I still stand on that. They're 2 different types of players. I'm the only reason why I'm on Claypool, guys, and reason why I see the drops, but I'm still picking him is because he's 6'6", 240, and runs a 4.4.
Yeah.
Guys, he was a late bloomer. Reason why he got to get used to being an alpha. On Notre Dame, he wasn't an alpha. They just used him on certain plays. So he didn't have a high target. So he got to get used to getting high targets and being targeted the whole game. If Claypool he just can go and relax in his mind, this guy could be great. You can't how can you stop a 6'6" guy that can jump that runs a 4.4 and he catching the ball? I mean, it's almost impossible because you're gonna have one-on-one coverage at least 6 or 7 times a game. And that's a lot more for certain players. So I'm just taking a shot on Claypool, his attributes.
I will backdoor that real quick with saying I'm with you. I think Trubisky needs that big target. He and Allen Robinson had a good year, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
Allen Robinson's metrics, 6'2" 3/4 or something like that? He's a big guy too.
He's a big guy too.
I think, Trubisky might not have the greatest accuracy, but guess what your wingspan is when you're over here being 6'6"? His hands gonna keep going. He's all the way to the edge still. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So I do think Trubisky's a better QB improvement. Claypool's a guy I've been drafting a lot. His ADP in best ball has been going up, so I haven't been able to get that. Real quick, I got Big Amo wanting to know what's your take for London being maybe possible the rookie of the year or a rookie offensive player of the year?
Yes. I mean, I can't disagree. I might have another rookie that I might think, but he's an alpha one. He's an alpha number 1 wide receiver in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Yes, he can.
Who's your top two maybe for offensive rookie of the year?
For offensive rookie of the year, man. Let me see.
I know the
Let me
odds real quick.
see.
Kenny Pickett has the best odds. Brees Hall has the number two. Then it's like Olivier Burks, like all those guys kind of start coming together.
I like Wan'Dale Robinson.
Oh man, you've been on his. I'm on his train too, but you've been hyping him
Yes,
more than me. So
yes. He's going to have rushing yards. He's going to be used a little bit like Debo, but not the same. That's just kind of their size is different. I like Wan'Dale Robinson. I think one of these late wide receivers has a chance to get offensive rookie of the year. And then defense, real quick, I just go ahead and go to Quay. That's easy.
Quay Walker, yeah, man.
Yeah.
There's a couple. Amma and I are breaking it down. Hutchinson's going against a bunch of bad offensive lines. If he can get about 11 or 12 sacks, we think he's got a good chance too. But we talked about Walker too. We got mixed up because I can't think of the guy's first name that Jacksonville drafted. I forgot his name's Walker too from Georgia. So I was over there scrambling. I was like, no, it's Quay Walker. I was like, I know Green Bay got Quay Walker. He wasn't the first overall pick, and then it just put me a little bit of a scramble. It's kind of funny, but it's I really appreciate you being here, man. We're going to wrap up the show pretty quick. I appreciate everybody being on here. We had a lot of guests today. You guys go check out, like I said, my Patreon. I'm going to start putting all my articles on there. And then they'll be free still. If you join the tier, you're going to get more articles. But I'm going to put all my stuff on there. So if you want to find me there on Patreon, go there. Of course, so right now we're on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. Follow us, man. Where can they find you again one more time, TD?
Yes, and before I say that, guys, I wanted to say, go follow this guy. This guy is a better person than he is fantasy football analyst, and I mean that from the best. This guy's a great person. That's why I work with him. You don't in this industry, guys. You don't find too many people that's like a good people and they know their stuff. So this is follow Iggy, guys. He has the gas. But yeah, man, you can find me on any social media platform, guys. Fantasy Good Sports, as you see on the screen, my name without the TD. TD is my name. But yeah, guys, any social media platform. Also, guys, my OnlyFans. I got listener leagues coming up. So guys, you want to get in a listener league, you want to play against guys like me and Iggy, aficionados, also celebrities, guys that former played in the NFL, come sign up for OnlyFans, guys, and I'm gonna help you out every Sunday, right? So you can ask me something on Tuesday, I got you, right? So make sure you sign up, guys. It's gonna be a banger. Let's watch football tomorrow too. We didn't talk about that, Iggy.
Oh yeah.
We got the Hall of Fame game coming tomorrow. That's gonna be exciting.
Yeah, Raiders at Jaguars. I'll close up real quick with that. Enjoy it. Don't expect a lot. I like preseason. I have a lot of friends that played college and small ball. They make it on practice squads. So it's cool to me. I know what that feel. I don't know what that feeling's like. But I know what my friends' feelings were like, and they show me all the swag that they got and get to keep and stuff like that. So cheer on those guys, man. There's a lot of young kids out there getting maybe their only opportunity to play on the NFL field, go in Canton. I will be at the Fantasy Football Expo next week, so I'm not quite sure I'll have a show on the Wednesday, but I am going to have a live show, little peep for the people still listening. I'm going to record a live show right outside the entrance so we can all get a vibe of who's going in, what's going on. I'm a man of the people, so I want to make sure we have that going on. I appreciate you. Really kind words, TD. TD's one of the great ones too, man. He runs great leagues. I'm in part of two of his leagues. The first Dynasty League, my first year to play, I made sure it's with TD. So go join his league. I'm in his best ball league. Let's all work together. He gives you advice anytime you need it. He stopped what he was doing to come on the show with me. It's a wonderful person, man. Make sure you go follow him inside and out. Thank you guys for joining. We love you. I appreciate you joining in Fantasy Football 7s. Remember, this is all for Kawasaki's disease, people.
Yes, sir.
This is what it's all about. TD had a little scare. We won't go into the details about that, but there's kids all across the world getting diagnosed with this, man, and people don't know the symptoms. Doctors don't know the symptoms. Nurses don't know the symptoms. It's very confusing. So if you get a chance, just read, look out for it. Look out for babies. You could save your kid's life. You could save your nephew's life, your cousin's life, your friend's kid's life. You could save somebody's life, man. That's what this is really all about, all right? So I love you guys. Take care of yourself. Be safe. Have a great day.
Peace.
Let's see. Oh, I forgot almost.